Hello, everybody, and welcome to our NYRA Breeders' Cup preview shows. I'm Andy Serling. I'm joined by Dan Silver. Dan and I are going to be doing Ladies' Day in a Marathon, the Friday show. We're going to do it in two segments, 3 races and 3 races, and then we'll be back with a couple segments on the big day, where I'll be joined by Eric Donovan. We're going to also do that in 2 segments, so check them all out if you can. We're going to start out with the marathon.
Yeah, you know, Breeders' Cup Day, always a challenge. Last year and this year, more of a challenge than ever with synthetic races, turf races. You really don't know how a lot of different horses are going to run, but we're going to do our best to try and tell you. And I think we both agree in the marathon that there's a horse that's sort of a layover, at least based on turf form, and that's Mastery. Mastery is son of Suleimani. He's a 3-year-old. And coming off of a Group 1 win, going a mile and 13/16, a distance that they run a lot here in the United States. But he's going to get a chance to really stretch out his legs, going a mile and 3/4. Important to note that last year this race was a mile and a half. That wasn't long enough, so they stretched it out to a mile and 3/4. And, you know, it would seem that based on form, Mastery would be the horse to beat in here.
Yeah, he is. My only problem with Mastery is, and I pick him on top, and this is not the kind of race I don't think either one of us are particularly thrilled with betting. I guess it starts out the pick 6, why they moved it to this day to have 6 Breeders' Cup races. It's understandable. And Mastery, the concern of Mastery is his one synthetic race was that sort of somewhat weird Kentucky Derby challenge race they ran, and he did not run well in there. He finished 4th, beaten a half length, but that was a dramatically subpar field. The question you have to ask yourself is, has he just improved dramatically since that race? He probably has, and he is the horse to beat in there. You've got Muhanik coming back, of course, who won this race last year, and, you know, Muhanik's recent form is just not good. Now, some people may want to say that maybe he ran his best race of the year last time out. I don't know. Here he is winning last year. I know he did run his best race of the year last time out. I just don't like him. I think this is a tougher group this year. I think it's possible Mastery is better than 60's Icon. When I looked at 60's Icon, the favorite who bombed last year.
Yeah, here's one thing that I would caution people about in this race and in the other Breeders' Cup races that are on the synthetic. If you look last year at the races, Muhanik, a son of Chester House, an American-based stallion. Last year, the horses that won the Breeders' Cup Classic, you had Henry the Navigator, Ravens Pass, Run 1-2, Sons of Elusive Quality, and King Mambo. I would caution people about playing some of these horses that are by horses like Suleimani, a turf horse, which is, real quick, why I like Man of Iron a little bit to run second, Son of Giants Causeway, half to Rags to Riches. So.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. You know, and you've got American horses like El Defer and Nightlight from this race. Where, if you want an American horse stretching it out, here they are in the Brooklyn. I would prefer Nightlight, who actually finished second in this race. He's got some synthetic form. I hear what you're saying about the sires. We're going to move along to the second race running on Friday, which is the Juvenile Fillies Turf race. And, you know, this race I think is one of the more interesting races, but I think like a lot of races, I'm going to find the best European and maybe the best American. And for my money, Lily Langtry, the 8, is the best European. I know it wasn't a killer field that she ran against last time, but honestly, I think that it was, she won very, very easily. You look at the time before that, it was very, very heavy going when she finished 3rd. The time before that was a race that would probably win this. I like her, and I think House of Grace, the 7 horse in here, who broke her maiden at Saratoga and then won an off-the-turf race on the synthetic at Keeneland. I thought she ran well. She was very impressed with Saratoga. I thought she might be the best American here. I don't think I have any clever thoughts. I know a lot of people like the Italian horse, Junia Tepzia. I don't know. That horse beat a stablemate who was a first-time starter last time out in that listed stake over in Italy. I'm not sure about this one. I like the 8 and 7 here.
To me, I agree with you. Lily Langtry's sort of a layover in this field. But I really do think that the 11, Junia Tepzia, is the X factor in this race. She's 2 for 2. She's got a brilliant turf pedigree, Rock of Gibraltar out of a paint race, celeb mare. I think that she could be any type. She's won both of her races very easily. If she's close to her 8-1 morning line, I think that's the play that at least I'm going to be making in this race, is try and get Junia Tepzia. See, she might be a freak. There's a reason that they're bringing her over here.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I don't know. I know a lot of people like her. Maybe I'm wrong. I just, from what I looked at from that field, it was that good. You do have a horse, Rose Catherine, the 4, who you didn't like at all, and I picked 3rd. That broke her maiden extremely impressively at Belmont, and I hadn't liked her at all this day. But, you know, she did win at 6 furlongs. She's got to stretch out to a mile, but it's not the same kind of sprinter going to a mile because it was only her first turf start. She absolutely galloped in here. I don't think she's out of the running in here. If she can stretch it out, this was a very impressive run.
Yeah, and she's the horse that could kind of change the way that this race is run. But my issue is that there's a lot of speed in here, which is why I think that Lily Langtry's going to, have a good shot coming from way off the pace.
Yeah, I think she's going to be reasonably short and reasonably hard to beat in this race. And we'll move on to the third race, which is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies race on the pro ride surface, so slightly different race. And this will be the last one for this segment. We're going to go right into the next segment after this. And where are you going in here, Dan?
I'm going with Always a Princess. I think she could reverse that form against Blind Luck last time out. If you see the race last time, Always a Princess got off to a lead. The form charts here is a little misleading. I thought that she was pressured a lot of the way in that race. I think that she's lightly raced, only 2 races. I think she might be able to reverse that form a little bit. There is one speed horse in here. Connie and Michael is going to be on the lead in this race. She may even be the favorite. But I think that in Always a Princess's first race, she was able to hang back. I think she's going to get a great stalking trip right behind Connie and Michael. And I think that this Baffert filly could offer some value, too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hers. I don't know. I had a lot of trouble with this race, to be honest. This is the race I probably may have terrible opinions in all of them, but this is what I felt like I just had the weakest opinion going in, because I didn't love the California horses. Now, I took Blind Luck, the 3 on top, and I thought she was visually impressive last time. I don't know how good these horses are. I'm not trying to do an east-west thing. I don't know how good those horses in California are. What they have is the advantage of running on the surface. That's why I took Blind Luck. I thought Devil May Care, the horse who won our Frisette, was very impressive winning that. Now, she stumbled badly at the start. I think you could argue that she made a premature move in this race, and there she is making the lead here, and the horse behind her is the big favorite, Awesome Maria, who came from last in here and had every chance to get by her. And you may want to say she hung. I say Devil May Care dug in. I believe that Devil May Care is the best horse in here. My problem is I don't have any confidence that she's going to handle her. I shouldn't say, because there is a horse in here that's very, very good, and that's Connie and Michael. We'll get to in a second. I have no confidence Devil May Care will handle the surface, but I think she's going to be a square enough price because of that, and I have to use a horse I think may be the most talented.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not next year for me. We're not at Churchill. Right. I'm not going to be playing a lot of horses that haven't been off synthetic. I know she's out of a Red Ransom mare, has some turf in her pedigree, but I just refuse to play horses that are strictly coming from the dirt and going to the synthetic. I can't imagine a lot of them are going to run better. She's probably, if she duplicates her last race, she has a shot to win here, but I'm not going to take the Pletcher horse that'll probably take a little bit of money based on that dirt form.
I have no argument with that at all. I mean, the big dilemma in this race is Connie and Michael. She may well be the most talented horse in this race, and she handled the synthetic at Keeneland. The record of horses going from 7 furlong and 6 furlong maiden wins to races like this in their next starts in just 3 weeks is like, 1 for 8 million or something. On the other hand, she's a very, very talented horse in a field doesn't feel like necessarily has a lot of talent, and she's handled the synthetic. I would use her protectively.
And there's not a lot of speed in this race, so she could get loose early on, but I think she might be the favorite.
Yeah, she's going to be too short. These horses are never, ever good bets. Right. Does it for the first segment on the Blaze Day. We're going to roll right into a second segment. Please join us.